be interesting, to see how this fight actually goes down. The game plan of Fabio Wardley, the game plan of Frazer Clarke. I do feel like, you know, Frazer Clarke is going to be a lot more sort of try to be a lot more defensively savvy in place there, because I feel like obviously he did get dropped, a couple of times and was hurt, quite multiple times against Fabio Wardley, but then obviously he was able to let off his own good work, instances as well, and obviously that's what led to Fabio Wardley taking all the damage that he did take, in the first fight there. So I feel like Frazer Clarke is going to approach it being a bit more defensively tight, making sure he's, they probably must have worked on his gas tank to be able to capitalize a lot more, on the successes he does have, because he was absolutely spent, at the at the 12th round, in the first fight. And to be fair, Frazer Clarke hadn't had that many, long fights that have got 8 rounds, before fighting Fabio Wardley, and I think that's one of the reasons why, Ben Shalom wasn't looking to put him in there straight away. Fabio Wardley, there was a bit of a delay there, because he hadn't had those rounds, and the fight going 12 rounds, you can actually get stopped, not because you're buzzed or you're anything like that. You get stopped because you're just tired, that's what, they sort of try to avoid that scenario, him just have a bit more work on that before going into the fight with Wardley. And obviously, when it did very well, Frazer Clarke, just the the stamina just wasn't there, and I feel like he wasn't able to fully capitalize on some of the successes he did have on Fabio Wardley as well, mainly probably because of the fatigue, and I feel like they probably would have rectified those things to some extent, maybe moving into this fight against Fabio Wardley. And I think Wardley the same would have made some adjustments himself, being a bit more defensively savvy himself, dealing with Frazer Clarke's jab, maybe to try and, avoid taking the punishment that he did, he did take, because all those damage that he took to his nose, that stuff doesn't just automatically heal, back to its, original state, within that space of time. There's probably still going to be some, some damage that's still there internally. So Frazer Clarke's probably going to be trying to, get that jab popping on his nose again. And, Frazer Clarke, Wardley's probably, inspiring in the gym, and obviously with his coach and the trainers and everything, probably worked on a game plan to try and minimize the damage he was taking in the first fight, from those jabs. Because if he goes in there again and starts taking those kind of jabs again, and if Frazer Clarke has worked on that endurance and that fitness, I feel like Wardley's going to be in serious trouble, And I don't know, the kind of training that Frazer Clarke's been doing. Is he come in here a bit more heavy-handed, maybe than he did in the first fight? It remains to be seen. But Wardley, very dangerous. If you get Wardley hurt, he's even more dangerous. We saw what he did to Adeleye, in the previous fight. Got him out of there, big left hook. And it's Adeleye that normally has the big left hook. Wardley landed his own big left hook. And knocked him out, got him out of their stoppage. Ref had to jump in and stop it. And I feel like Wardley, I don't think he's going to be trying. He's obviously, like I said, he's going to be a bit more defensively savvy. But I feel like if he gets Frazer Clarke hurt, he's going to be looking to take Frazer Clarke out of there. He's not wasting no time. He's not, sitting in there saying, "Oh, let me." No. I think Fabio Wardley, if he gets Frazer Clarke hurt, he's going to be going for the stoppage. Now, the question is, can Frazer Clarke go to the well and go to war when he needs to go to war? Because Wardley can go to war. Frazer Clarke needs to go to the well, go to war, and just like Daniel Dubois said, might have to, if you want to swing go, let's go now. He might have to go. He might have to dip into that Daniel Dubois bag. If you want to swing go, let's go now. And the question is, who's going to win that shootout between Fabio Wardley, and Frazer Clarke if it does kick off? Most people's going to be leading to, Fabio Wardley, just because obviously he's a bit, he's a bit quicker, in terms of the hand speed, I would say, than Frazer Clarke. Frazer Clarke's definitely, got, in terms of that amateur pedigree, he's got a lot of knowledge there in terms of like the ring IQ and everything. But this is fighting. If you get hurt, all this and that, Wardley has demonstrated that he can get you the hell out of here. And I feel like in this fight, if Wardley does catch Frazer Clarke, especially if it's early on in a round and it's in the early rounds, I feel like Wardley will go for it, and I won't be shocked if he did beat Frazer Clarke within 5 rounds. That wouldn't shock me at all. In place that did happen. But yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to see how this actually goes. What adjustments have, both of these guys made? Has Frazer Clarke improved his stamina? Is Fabio Wardley coming with a game plan to avoid taking the punishment he took before? is either man going to be able to take each other out, break each other's will, and get the stoppage? Because Frazer Clarke was talking about, obviously, he was rewatched the video, remembering how he felt, because you can even see in this video, in this picture, who looks more upset with the draw? Big Frazer. Frazer Clarke is more upset. He don't want to come in. He came in here, wants to get the, pick up, this win to move on to bigger things. Move on to bigger things, after fighting for that British title. And then, you feel like he's been bogged down with this Wardley stuff. You can see he's a bit annoyed by that, but, he gets another good payday, in out there in Saudi on Riyadh season card, on, like I said, on the card of Viterbia versus Bivol, and if he can knock out Frazer Clarke, I mean, if Frazer Clarke can knock out Wardley on an undisputed card like that, that does big things, moving forward, especially in the British heavyweight boxing scene. What big fights are going to be out there, for these guys. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. And the same thing for Wardley. If Wardley wins, I feel like there's going to be a lot of opportunities out there for Fabio Wardley moving forward. And to be fair, I feel like a lot of people, if Fabio Wardley does win, I think not many people, especially in the British heavyweight scene, or any of the top 10 guys or maybe top 15 guys are going to necessarily be looking to fight Fabio Wardley like that. They're going to be thinking, what's the reward to me for fighting a risky guy, that's quite dangerous. It's going to be interesting to see that dynamic or where either man goes if they do win. But yeah, man, I think it's going to be interesting. I think if Fabio Wardley does win, I feel like he will stop Frazer Clarke within 6 to 7 rounds. Because I feel like Frazer Clarke will be, have enough about him to, not be getting knocked out early, and be dangerous himself enough to cause Wardley problems. But I think if Frazer Clarke does win, I feel like he would have to have been a broken down Fabio Wardley, and I feel like his stamina would have improved enough to stop him maybe between 7 to 9 rounds. In the late championship rounds there. So, man, let me see what you guys are saying. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Fabio Wardley taking on Frazer Clarke. Again, rematch, British heavyweight title. Let's see what happens, man. Cool.